Courtney, why are only 2 stores open out of the 17 licenses that have been handed out?
So there's actually 19 preliminary approvals that were given, and of those 19, only 2 have opened. So you have Embark and the Artistry. And I mean, I think there's a variety of reasons that we can cite. I would like to say it's because the Artistry and Embark are truly professional at what we do, and we are just excellent at understanding the assignment and knowing how to find our way through the entitlement process and to get our businesses open. But the reason I don't think that's the only reason why is because many of the groups that won licenses in Fresno are also very skilled operators in other locations in the state of California. Over this past year, we certainly have seen some problems in the supply chain for cannabis in California, specifically at the manufacturing and the cultivation level. There's just been an oversupply of product, which has, certainly decreased the price margin for products in, for those growers and for those manufacturers. Some of our cannabis licenses are currently held by companies that are vertically integrated. So maybe they're feeling a little bit of a pinch financially, due to some of those supply chain overcrowding over the last year. Also, I think that this process has taken quite a bit of time. And while we were able to navigate it really quickly, we applied for these licenses 2.5 years ago. And for many companies, 2.5 years ago, your projection of which project would be next or where your priorities are was probably very different than where it is now. And so for some companies, perhaps they didn't really have the funding that they claimed that they had in their application. Perhaps that they really didn't have the infrastructure that they claimed in their application to be able to bring these businesses forward. While I can't speak for any other company other than my own, because I don't really know the inner workings of their financial situation or their company structure, I can say that for us, it has been quite a big surprise. We have been expecting to see somebody else come online for some time, just because there are some operators there that are very skilled in this industry. I do know that Culture Cannabis Club is going to be coming soon. We frequently try to communicate with other retailers and with the city on who's going to be coming next, because believe it or not, it really is needed, another store in Fresno. And so we understand and have heard that Culture Cannabis Club will be coming hopefully within the next few months, and that will be another opportunity for consumers in the city of Fresno.
We know that the illegal cannabis sales are doing as well, correct? Or in some cases better than the legal. Is that a true statement? Or
Lauren, I would say, Lauren, you want to comment on that? Because I would say, yeah, it's a true statement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for certain, I think that, I guess I'm not sure what percentage of the total market in California is legal versus unlicensed. But I know that it definitely is a large portion of the market and something that continues to proliferate. And I think Fresno has done a better job than some other cities about cracking down on the unlicensed operators. And in our Southern California stores, we see it as a much bigger problem because cities like Los Angeles are not able to keep up. So there are many storefronts that still operate that are not licensed, whereas, we haven't experienced that in Fresno, but I do still believe there are people, that are selling it through unlicensed means there.
A final question. Where do you see the future of cannabis on a federal level? Several years ago, under the Trump administration, it looked like the country was close to making cannabis potentially legal or removed as a Class 1 drug. There was lots of rumors of that floating around, but that never happened. Where do you see cannabis going on a federal level? 21 states have it legal. Several others have it as medicinal. So where do you guys see the future of cannabis from a federal perspective?
I think that, the tide is slowly shifting. So I don't believe there'll be full legalization in the next 5 years, but potentially within the next 10 years. I do think that there are things that the federal government is moving toward that will help all the states that have legalized it, like repealing or 280E, which is a huge tax burden for cannabis operators right now because cannabis businesses cannot deduct business expenses the same way that other businesses can, which is, a big financial burden to us. So, there's legislation proposed to address that and other banking issues. And so, that's showing that there's a will to kind of help all of the legal cannabis stores in different states. But I do think there are many communities and states that are still opposed to it. And so, in California, it's been around for a long time and it's generally accepted and more common, and there are many other places where people are still opposed to it and don't believe that it's safe and, don't want it to be fully legalized for recreational use.
Right, like Texas, it's completely illegal, right? You can't, as medicinal and
Texas
as
is actually doing a license. They're in the middle of a licensing program now. So they are actually going to let in a handful of operators for medicinal purposes first, which typically then leads to adult use. So we are seeing some of the more conservative states realizing that there is some benefit, if not only for financial reasons through taxes, there are some benefits for allowing cannabis legally in their states. And so we will see some licenses handed out in Texas within the next probably 6 months, I would think.
And then in Canada, cannabis is legal nationwide, correct? So the whole entire country of Canada made it nationally legal for recreational use. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
And then what is this significance of 420, April 20th? And that's why we had this show tonight. If you can tell our audience, what's the significance of this coming Thursday, happens to be a Thursday this year, of 420?
So it is a, National Cannabis Day to those who consume, and it's been around for decades. It's not a new thing. I think it started in like the 60s, and there's different explanations for why it's
At a high school in San Rafael, 5 kids wanted to meet up, and they picked their meeting time at 4:20. And that's when they just started consuming cannabis. There was this rumor for a long time that it was the 420 was the code for the police call if you were having marijuana, but that's not actually true. So it was just in San Rafael, some kids, met up at 420, and then that started to catch on through pop culture in a number of different ways. And now we have 420 every year.
So it's a day when people just want to celebrate, right? So it's kind of a holiday for people that are cannabis consumers. And so it is traditionally always our busiest day of the year ever since we were operating medical dispensaries. And, for all cannabis dispensaries, it's their busiest day of the year because people are coming in, they want to get products to consume elsewhere, but they also just want to be kind of part of the fun. So it's kind of like, Black Friday or something where you just want to experience being in the store with lots of people. Usually stores have special deals and other celebrations, and we'll be doing that. I see you have the image there. So in addition to having discounts, we have a lot of fun things happening during the day on 420. So we'll have lots of DJs performing. We'll have free food in our parking lot. We'll have a lot of our brands giving out swag. So it'll be just a big celebration for the community.